Hi everyone, welcome to the Ever-Seeking Empath. I'm a reader who uses tarot, oracle, and charms, and today's reading is How Can You Find the Light in the Darkness? So I know this time of year can be kind of tough for a lot of people, and especially this year, many of us were not able to gather with friends or family. So I just wanted to give you some insight regarding how you can find some bright spots in this difficult time. So before we get started, I do want to remind everyone that this is a general reading, so every message might not be meant for you, so that's fine. Just take what resonates for your situation and disregard the rest. Also, I would like to request that if you enjoy this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so that you can see when I've posted new content. And thank you to those of you who have already subscribed. I'm very grateful for you. So we have 3 piles here today. Pile 1 is this snowflake. Pile 2 is this little gift box, and pile 3 is this snowman. So just take a deep breath, let your intuition guide you to a pile. I'm going to put timestamps in the description and in the comments below. And now we're going to get started with pile number 1. Hi group 1. So if you chose the snowflake tin, then this is your message. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's figure out how you can find the light in the darkness. So for your tarot, you have 6 of Wands, which says victory, Queen of Pentacles, and 8 of Pentacles, prudence. So I feel like you need to congratulate yourself for all the hard work that you've put in this year. I feel like you really need to celebrate yourself, celebrate your achievements, and I just feel like even if you feel like you haven't achieved that much or as much as you wanted to, I think look back on a year ago today and see where you were and see how far you've come since then. I feel like that's something that you really need to focus on right now, is see how much you've achieved, because it might not be the kind of achievements that you had hoped for initially, but I feel like you really have focused on building your empire, building up your self-worth, maybe working on your health, something like that. But I feel like you've definitely made some major progress this year. But I want to see what your oracle cards have to say as well. You have the garden and the gate, number 30. So in this card, she's kind of sitting inside this garden trying to figure out if she wants to leave the safety and beauty of this garden or not. So I feel like maybe you had to make a choice this year on whether to stay within your comfort zone or whether to kind of move forward and start living the life that you've wanted to live, or maybe the life that you've dreamt of for a long time. And I feel like many of you have taken some steps this year to at least figure out what you want to do with your life. Even if you feel like you haven't made strides towards that life, you've really figured out where you want to go. You have Entangled, number 13. So this card has to do with synchronicities. So if you've been noticing some kind of signs from the universe, or you just feel more connected to other people lately, that's kind of this energy. So I feel like you've definitely had some kind of inner knowing about which direction you want to go in. Maybe you've had some things line up, or you've seen like feathers or coins or whatever kind of messages that you look for out in the world, like whether that's birds or, a lot of the time it's animals. But I feel like you've seen a lot of synchronicities about like kind of surrounding the situation that you've been wanting to move towards. So if you've been questioning yourself and you really want to move towards something, but fear is holding you back, you see something or you hear something that is kind of telling you, okay, go for it. And that seems to be reassuring. So just know that is universal. That's trying to tell you something. So I feel like that might have been something that you've been achieving this year, and you've gotten better at listening to your intuition as a result. You have home. So obviously many of us have been kind of stuck at home this year, but you might have also moved into a new home, because that Queen of Pentacles also is like the caretaker of the home and just provides that kind of nurturing, warm, comforting environment as well. So maybe you've done really well at kind of improving your home, like the place, or just that state of mind, just feeling more comfortable in yourself, in your own skin. So just know that those are strides forward, even if you feel like it's not kind of outwardly known by other people. That is an achievement to be proud of. You have will, which says waxing gibbous 4. So And that's also number 13. So yeah, you've got two 13s here. So number 13 in tarot is the death card. So I feel like you've definitely gone through some inner transformation this year. And I feel like you've really found your sense of will. You've found your willpower. You know kind of which direction you want to move in. And I think you're starting to trust in yourself, and you're finding that kind of inner oomph to move forward. So even if you haven't moved forward, I think this year has been a time for you to really focus on that. And now I think you're ready to start taking some big strides into your future. You have number 11, connect with crystals, for your self-care message. So if you're into crystals, like crystal healing and things like that, that might be something you want to do. But also for a lot of you, if you've been the type of person, like when you were a kid, if you'd collect just interesting looking rocks and things like that, just find ways to connect with that, just ways to connect with nature, and just even kind of observing what nature has created. Crystals are really cool because they're just like fascinating, and it's amazing what the earth can create. So I feel like even if you're not into the metaphysical and spiritual aspects of crystals, you can still connect with crystals in that kind of just being in awe of nature kind of way. Because I know that crystal healing is not for everybody. So I just want to say, kind of make that clear that you can do that kind of metaphysical working with crystals, but also just appreciating the natural aspects of them as well can be helpful to you. Just that connecting with nature, it's very grounding, can kind of help you come back to yourself again. And with the home card too, that's kind of jumping out at me. So I feel like maybe if you decorate your home with some natural elements as well, even if it's not just crystals, but decorating with like natural wood, or just like some cool like pine cones or things that you see out in nature that you collect and bring home, just know that that might help you just feel a little more homey. I don't know how to explain that, but with that garden and the gate too, maybe just that sense of natural beauty is something that really makes you feel good about yourself and makes you feel empowered, and like it just connects you to your inner self, and it just makes you feel a little better about your life as well. So just be aware of that. That might be something that you want to explore. And then you have She Who Divines, Futura, Future, Choice, and Judgment. So yeah, I think you've definitely been having to make a choice this year. I think recognizing what choice to make for your future. I think you're in the state of mind where you know what you want, and you just have to figure out how to get there. Because the cards that she's holding up, it looks like the Death card, and then also the Seven of Hearts, which is the Seven of Cups. So that's making a choice to end things that no longer serve you and to move forward into a better future. And with that Death card there, that's crazy because we've got these two number 13s, which are the Death cards. So that kind of death energy might be really prominent in your life right now. So just know that that's good. Clearing out what no longer serves you and making way for the new is a really good thing, because that allows you to live your life more authentically. You feel more connected to your inner self. And some of you might be Scorpios as well, because that is scorpionic energy as well. So I want to get your charms to figure out some more information about how you can find the light in the darkness. So we are going to use the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation, what can really help you, what you can focus on, that kind of thing. So group 1, how can you find the light in the darkness? Okay, we did have a charm kind of go rogue out here and fall out of the tray. So we have the speedboat here. So that's definitely about forward movement, coasting over turbulent waters, that kind of thing. But in your heart, you have the passport, which has to do with new endeavors, often literally travel. So maybe you're making travel plans because you weren't able to bring those to fruition this year. So you're trying to make travel plans for the future, and just embarking on new endeavors, new adventures, that kind of thing. So maybe this year was a year for you to really focus on your home, and that's something you can do right now, is focus on your home and then plan and dream of your future. Because when you're stuck at home, it's hard to just feel like you can't do anything. But I think that's something that you've been working on, is trying to make your home feel as cozy and warm and loving as possible. Because you also have the pineapple. So the pineapple can have to do with abundance, but it also has to do with the home and hospitality. So I feel like you've been trying to make your home more hospitable, not just to other people, but to you as well. So whether that's the place that you actually live, your residence, or if it's just you feeling at home in your own skin, I feel like that's something that you've been working on. Maybe it's something you can continue to work on or do more work on. But overall, I feel like that sense of home is really coming out here. So I feel like many of you really have needed to work on just like your space, your current self, so that then once you get the go ahead to move into the life that you want to live, whatever those adventures might be, then you can really do that without being held back by anything, and you'll feel comfortable and confident in yourself to move forward. So you got quite a few charms here. For the initials, you have T and you have V. So for some of you, you might actually be watching a lot of TV, wanting to learn TV, wanting to watch TV, like just really that's been drawing you in. But I'm seeing the word learn here, which is why I said wanting to learn TV. So maybe some of you are going to school for like film production or something like that, or wanting to write or act, do something regarding television in some way. Maybe some of you are actually working on the electronic side of things, maybe like computer science for some of you, but that's just coming through for a few people. You do have dreams, so I think many of you are definitely wanting to work on your dreams. Pay attention to messages you're getting in your dreams right now, because I feel like a lot of people are getting that just dreams are more vivid right now, and you're getting extra messages, and just kind of some weird symbolism is coming through. So maybe explore that a little bit, figure out what that means to you, what your dreams are telling you, that kind of thing. You have Gemini energy here. So some of you might be Geminis, but also this one says intelligent on the back. So some of you might be working on schooling or trying to learn something new, because you do have a lot of that learning energy. You have the Ace of Pentacles, which also kind of goes off of that. So new opportunities, new endeavors, learning something new, a new career path, new schooling, just anything like that. You have the Sand Dollar here. So it could have to do with wanting to make money off of creative endeavors. That's one of my meanings for this. But also when we have low tide, you end up seeing all of the shells and sand dollars and just the things that were under the surface of the water. So I feel like this year has kind of been a year of low tide for a lot of us. So maybe you've been finding some little tidbits here and there that have helped you figure out either what you want to do, what's holding you back. You're just kind of sifting through your psyche a little bit more this year and finding things in your life that you either want to really focus on, or things that don't serve you any longer, that you don't want to keep in your life. So you've just been kind of sifting through all that stuff that's been coming up, and that's really helped you kind of figure out which direction you want to move forward when the time is right to do so. You have the skier here, so that makes me think of just things being a little bit smoother sailing, skiing downhill and being able to maneuver a little bit better, because I feel like many of us have just felt held back for a long time. So I think this is just saying hold tight, because things are going to get a little bit smoother, a little bit faster. Things will be speeding up quite soon. You have the fox here. So the fox is cunning and sly. So I feel like many of you are really trying to make some plans. And I think many of you are probably not telling people about these plans, that maybe this is something that other people would discourage you from doing, or you just don't want to let them know what steps you're taking, because you want to make sure that this is going to get off the ground before you tell anybody about it. And that's a good idea. I think it doesn't mean you can't confide in anyone, but I think kind of keeping your mask up for a little while might help you just get that energy going and get that momentum going without feeling like you have to take other people's opinions into account, because many of you might be kind of people pleasers, and it's taken you a long time to really get to the point where you're just trying to make yourself happy and not worrying about what other people think. Because we do have the mask here as well, and since it's still showing up like the mask is on, that's making me think that you are kind of hiding some aspect of yourself from people, or just not telling them the whole truth. So I do think that that's the best idea for now. So just kind of hang tight and know that at some point you'll be able to open up. But I think just look within and you'll know when that time is. Many of you might be dreaming of love and wanting maybe romantic love to come into your life, dreaming of when you can see your loved ones, your friends, your family again. You've got the shooting star here, so that has to do with wishes coming true. So just trust in your dreams, trust in what you're wishing for, and know that it does have the potential to come true. But I do think I keep getting these messages of inner guidance here. You do have the lighthouse, so that has to do with being guided, kind of seeing where the light is shining so that you know how to move forward, that you can find your way. You have the deer here, so this always makes me think of kind of starting out on shaky legs. It's a little bit like the Fool energy in tarot, like a new beginning, being unsure of where to go, and oftentimes kind of freezing when obstacles come up. So that's why I feel like it is a good idea right now to kind of keep your intentions close to you. Like, don't necessarily share them with everyone, because I feel like if people start giving negative opinions on what you're trying to achieve, that might throw you off balance, that might throw off your energy, and you might hold back too much, and that might slow down your progress. You've got the ambulance here, so many of you, I don't usually get this from the ambulance because the ambulance is usually just healing energy, but some of you might have been dealing with some emergency situations recently. I feel like some of you might have had a fire in the home or at your workplace recently. And others of you might have had some like major health concerns. Obviously, we have a pandemic right now, but I'm feeling like some of you, that might have been something that's thrown you off recently, and you're kind of trying to gather your strength again, whether that's emotional strength from having to deal with this ordeal, or if you were the one who was ill or had something happen, you're trying to gather your physical strength again as well. But this is a positive sign of healing, so just know that that healing is a good place for you to focus your energy right now. Focus on your healing. Make sure that you're not overexerting yourself, that kind of thing, because you will be able to leap forward more quickly soon. This frog is just kind of poised and ready to leap forward. So, and you do have the bird here as well, which is often quick movement, and also communication could be coming in regarding an opportunity or something coming in, or somebody that you've been waiting to hear from might be communicating with you quite soon, and that might give you some extra hope for whatever you're trying to achieve. You have the mermaid's back here, which sometimes can be kind of like the siren energy, so like something very alluring and enticing, but it also, for me, has to do with mystery and not knowing what someone is up to. So again, there's just that repeating message of you just kind of keeping things close, not necessarily sharing your every move with everybody, being a bit more private about what you're trying to achieve right now. You have the spider, so that has to do with creating the life that you want. So just know that you have the power to create the life that you want. I think you've been in the process of trying to figure out what that life is, and maybe you're starting to kind of weave that web right now. You have the Hanged Man energy here. So yeah, this has definitely been a time of suspension for a while, where you had to just kind of take a pause, change your perspective on some things, learn a bit about yourself, learn a bit about your environment, figure out what is working for you and what's not working for you, that kind of thing. But I think we're moving into a period of time where that fast forward movement is very close. And then you do have this little flower here, which has to do with just starting to blossom. So I do feel like a lot of this has to do with a sense of self-worth for many of you. I think many of you have been really feeling a lot better about who you are at your core. You're starting to really honor your authentic self, whatever you're doing, whether that's with a job or the people you allow in your life. So I think just making sure that you continue to honor yourself, and respect who you are, and don't adjust what you want or how you act based on other people's wishes or expectations, and just continuing to trust your inner voice, because it really does know best. So group 1, I hope that this resonated. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this, please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope that you have an awesome rest of your day. I hope you've had an awesome holiday season, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group 2, so if you chose the little gift box, then this is your message. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's figure out how you can find the light in the darkness. For your tarot, you have the High Priestess, Ten of Wands, Oppression, and the Hierophant. So for you, I feel like you might be kind of stuck in between what your inner self is wanting to do and then what you're expected to do, what culture or your family or tradition is telling you to do, particularly because that Ten of Wands says oppression. So I feel like many of you have been feeling oppressed for a while, maybe hiding your true self, and you're really needing to introspect right now to figure out what you want to do, what you want your life to look like. Maybe some of you would benefit from talking to a counselor or a mentor of some sort to try to figure out how to balance your desire for the life that you've been wanting, the life that feels authentic to you, and the life that other people want for you. But I want to see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have attachment, number 5. So yeah, this makes me feel like you've maybe been wearing a mask for a long time. You have been just doing what other people expect you to do, whether that's family obligations and expectations, or if it's something society or culture is expecting of you. But I think this is the time to sever those attachments. Maybe you're needing to prepare for that right now and just do some exploration to figure out what attachments serve you and which ones just feel like they're tying you down. I think just exploring your inner self, exploring your thoughts, your feelings, just trying to figure out what feels right to you would benefit you right now. I think that might be something that you really need to work on right now. You have Hasta la Vista, baby, number 52. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely a period of time where you are going to need to say goodbye to things that don't work for you anymore. That might mean cutting some people off for some of you, because I feel like many of you have felt oppressed by other people for a long time. So maybe some of you might even be in abusive relationships or something, and you're trying to figure out how to get out of that. Or you've been around like oppressive family, or just the culture that you've grown up in does not fit with you. So just know, yeah, this is the time to cut that off, to figure out what you can say goodbye to and how to move forward into a life that feels right for you. You have strength, and you also have courage. So I know that those might sound very similar, but they do refer to some different types of strength. So the strength card, even though I love that there are both cards have these lions on them. So on strength, you've got the little babies here. So this to me speaks of inner strength and resilience and being able to bounce back from a situation that's been difficult for you, being able to keep your inner fire going even when you feel like people have been trying to put it out for a long time. And then courage is finding the strength in yourself to take some action, take steps forward into the life that you want. So it's not just the internal strength there, it's using that internal strength to help you move forward. So to do things that might be very difficult for you, having that bravery and courage to break free of the things that are tying you down and holding you down. You have darkness, long night moon, which is number 40. So yeah, I feel like for a long time you've been feeling like you've just been in that kind of void space where you just feel like you don't really know where to go, you don't know where to turn. Maybe you've just felt empty for a long time. But with that High Priestess as well, this is saying explore that. What feelings are coming up within you when you're in this space? What are you thinking about? What feels like it's kind of sparking something in you? How can you explore that kind of shadow side of you that feels beaten down and not authentic? There's a lot of kind of shadow work coming up in this pile. So I'd be interested to see kind of what your situations are and everything. But yeah, I think just working on exploring your inner self, figuring out why you're letting yourself be tied down to some of these situations, because some of these attachments might be self-inflicted, that they're not anything that are, it's not like outside sources that are holding you down, but just expectations you have of yourself, that you don't want to let people down. And maybe this is a situation where you wouldn't let anyone down, you just feel like you would. So just maybe kind of explore that, figure out why you're feeling that way, why you're letting those attachments kind of remain. And I think that's why I keep feeling like many of you might want to talk to a therapist or a counselor or some kind of mentor to really kind of dive into that and see what somebody else's viewpoint can give you. For your self-care message, you have watch a movie, number 54. So yeah, I feel like this is just saying, maybe take a break from all of this kind of inner work too, because I feel like many of you might have been really diving deep this year. So this is saying watch a movie, maybe escape a little bit, if you have a pet or something, cuddle up with your pet, have a hot drink, just get cozy feeling, wrap yourself up in a blanket and watch something that's either feel good or watch something that's inspiring, that makes you want to take action, makes you want to move forward, live authentically, that kind of thing. Because I do feel like any kind of storytelling has the power to do that for us, but movies in particular, I feel like you can just get inspired by it, even if it's something kind of light and fluffy. If you feel a little bit more empowered or motivated to do something afterwards, then that's definitely valuable beyond just that form of escapism. And then you have She Who Begins, Primavera, launch, actualize, potential. So yeah, I feel like you definitely have a new beginning here. You've got that potential built up in you that's just kind of waiting to be unleashed. And that's kind of the vibe I was getting from all those lions on your spellcasting cards as well, is just you've got this potential there, but you've just been held down by burdens, by obligations, by family expectations, cultural expectations, by your own expectations of what you think your life should look like. So I think this is a time for you to explore that and clear some of that away and really let yourself launch into a new era. So there's definitely a theme going with these piles so far about letting go what doesn't serve you and moving into a new era. And I think that's perfect because we do have the new year coming up. So I do want to see what your charms have to say though. So I'm going to get the tray here, and we are using the heart today to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. So that's just where maybe you have more influence over, or where you can focus some extra attention right now. So group 2, how can you find the light in the darkness? So you guys have quite a few charms as well. But in the heart here, we have the sewing machine. So that has to do with mending things. So maybe some of you have had like fallouts this season with family members, with loved ones, or you just feel detached from yourself. So you want to maybe start stitching up those situations. Maybe this is about inner healing as well, doing that inner work. But I feel like a lot of this is about kind of mending things and moving into a better period of time. You do have number 19, so that could be a significant number or date for you, but number 19 is also the Sun card in tarot. So yeah, that's just about clarity and better times ahead, happiness, joy, success. And then you have the closed book. So I feel like, yeah, you're just waiting for this new part of your story to open up and to begin. And I feel like maybe you've been kind of itching for that for a while, but you might have been trying to kind of tamp it down and ignore it just because you feel like, no, there's no way I could do that, or no, my family needs me, my friends need me, work needs me, whatever you feel like is tying you down. Maybe you feel so obligated to them that you're not living authentically. So this is a time to maybe explore what living authentically would mean to you, however you can do that. You have the jug here, which always makes me think of the phrase, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're the person that a lot of people turn to, you're the helper, you're the confidant, just make sure that you're filling up your emotional cup again. Make sure that you are not using all of your energy, all of your emotional space to help other people. Make sure that you leave a lot of room for yourself. You have to take care of yourself first before you have that extra space for other people. So just make sure that you're taking care of yourself, that you're taking care of your emotional side. And that's why I think many of you, a therapist or a mentor would be very helpful. You have a few words here. So you have special, you have some, and you have will. So I'm almost getting like the phrase someone special will do something. So there might be someone special in your life that will do something to help you, to reach out, to try to make you happy. There also might be somebody in many of your lives named Will, or your name might be Will, because we have a W here as well. So the name Will or William might be important for some of you. That's just one thing that I'm getting. And this someone special for many of you might be either your mom or maybe your kids. Maybe your mom and your kids or your partner are people that are trying to help you or that you can turn to for extra help, or they might just be the people that are kind of weighing on you. So just make sure that you're also asking for help and for love and effort to come from others as well, because you can't just keep draining yourself for the sake of other people. So just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. That's really important in honoring your authentic self. You have the sun here. So again, positive times ahead, clarity. I think getting clarity on what you want in your life is going to be significant. You have the Deathly Hallows here. So Harry Potter might be significant for some of you, but otherwise this just has to do with kind of never-ending love, bouncing back from things, that resilience message again. So just for as many times as you feel like you've been knocked down, trust in your resilience to pick you back up again. Because I think many of you might feel kind of broken. I keep getting like, I feel broken, but I'm broken, that phrase in my head. And we have the wrench here as well. So that's, again, a message of fixing or mending things, just like that sewing machine that's in your heart. So yeah, I feel like many of you are generally the fixer, and now you're feeling like you've given so much to other people, or you've been doing things for others for so long, and you just feel broken and maybe shattered. That's another word coming into my head, is shattered. So just, again, give some of that love back to yourself. I think that's one thing that is going to help, is making sure that you redirect some of that love back to yourself. Explore why you're feeling this way, what you're feeling. Many of you might be the type to shut down your own feelings because they're not serving you, because you have to take care of everyone else, so your feelings don't matter, but they do matter. So just make sure that you're not ignoring how you feel and what you need just for other people. You have the feather here, so that's my charm for synchronicities and signs from the universe. So if you're needing guidance or help, don't be afraid to ask for it. And that's on a spiritual level as well as like a literal earthly level. So again, mentors, ask for help. Ask for reasons to live authentically if you feel like you can't see a reason to just live for yourself and not just for other people. And then asking the universe for help, asking for signs for what you should be doing or what would help you, asking for help and guidance. And just for me, I always end up seeing feathers. That's kind of one of my signs. So if you see something like that, whether it's animals, birds, coins, a lot of people see, but whatever you kind of have assigned as a sign in your head, when you see that, take that as a sign. Know that that's guidance kind of helping you out, and just know that that's other people and your guides sending you love. So again, I think this is a lot about allowing yourself to accept love, because I do think that you've been burning out for a long time. We have the circus tent here, so that makes me think that things have been really crazy for you for a while. It might have just been because of this year or due to things that have been happening this year, but I feel like for many of you, this has been going on for a much longer time prior to this year as well, and this year might have just made it worse. You have the pack mule as well, so that's another sign of taking on too big of a burden. That's very Ten of Wands energy, and you did get the Ten of Wands in your tarot. So again, just releasing the things that don't work for you, detaching from the situations that aren't right for you, that don't serve you, that just weigh you down or make you feel bad, that just because I feel like many of you have obligations that you have to kind of maintain, but maybe parse through them and figure out what parts of them you can drop. Like if you are like taking care of someone else, where can you find 5 minutes to take care of yourself instead, rather than just doing things for somebody else? You know, just take a few minutes every so often to refresh and recharge. You have the basketball hoop. So some of you might be, maybe a sport would help you kind of refresh and recharge your energy, but for others of you, this just has to do with like a slam dunk. So just something working out so well and it just being like the perfect solution. So I feel like many of you are going to discover something that feels like a slam dunk. Maybe some people in your life, like I keep seeing the someone special kind of phrasing. So that might be what comes into your life. So just try not to self-sabotage, because I feel an energy of self-sabotaging coming through here. So just know if you have that tendency, be aware of it and just kind of monitor yourself. You know, make sure that you're not just screwing things up ahead of time for yourself because you feel either like you don't deserve it or like it just won't work out anyway, so why even try? You know, just explore some things, see what you think. You have the bird here. So again, communication might be coming in for some of you. So that could be somebody special or new opportunities could be coming in, but just don't be afraid to reach out and communicate with others as well. Because that's right here on the lone wolf charm. So for many of you, you might be used to just going it alone. You might feel like you're better off alone and just trusting in yourself because you can't trust in anyone else. But just don't be afraid to open up to others, because we do have the corkscrew here, and then we have the shell and the starfish, which often has to do with emotional healing. So yeah, just know that opening up is part of that emotional healing process, but you are able to trust in others. But again, if you don't feel like you have anyone around you to trust in, I think new people are coming into your life, but also seek out a counselor or a mentor or something to help you with that, because their job is to help you. And I think many of you might be feeling like that's reserved for people with larger problems, but the thing is, no problem is too small to seek out help or guidance or an additional perspective on it. You have the guitar here. So for many of you, music might be something that you either want to do or something that would help you, but otherwise just creative stuff. Again, I think just working on something creative to kind of help you get those emotions out. You know, that also makes me think of expression. So again, express yourself, you know, talk it out, write it out if you can't figure out the words to say, or sing it, or just, you know, move your body, dance, just something involving some sort of creative expression might be helpful for you. You have this charm, which makes me think of like mystery and the unknown. So again, that's that darkness message and the high priestess. So really sifting through kind of your shadow side, your psyche, things that bother you and you don't know why. You know, it'd be a good idea to figure out what you're feeling, how you're feeling. And many of you, I think, would benefit from some additional insights, like from a professional of some sort. I think you're used to just working hard constantly, and just when you're working hard and you're knocked down, you just get right back up again and keep going. So I feel like many of you are just on autopilot, and I think just stopping, being more mindful and being more introspective about things might help you out. With this night energy, that has to do with like forward movement and just charging in and things like that. So I think many of you do just sometimes jump in without thinking about stuff, and I think just stepping back and exploring how you feel about something before you do it, rather than just going, oh, it needs to get done, I'll do it, and just jumping in, because I think you are spreading yourself too thin. You have the heart wreath with all the flowers here. So just allowing love to grow and flourish and allowing other people to love you as well. Even if that's a difficult change to make, allowing other people to give back to you, I think, is going to be very important. And maybe not timing yourself on how long this takes, because we've got all the numbers around here, 1 through 12, but we don't have any hands on this clock face. So I think just allowing things to take the time that they take will be significant. Don't judge yourself for how long your healing process takes, because it's not a linear process. It takes time, it takes effort. You're probably going to slide back several times, but that's just part of the process. So don't beat yourself up for it. But I think just trusting in other people, trusting in yourself, and taking the time and energy to explore your feelings, your authentic self will definitely help you get some more insights. So group 2, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. I hope your holiday season has been great, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group 3, so if you chose the snowman tin, then this is your message. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's figure out how you can find the light in the darkness. For your tarot, you have art, temperance, the moon, and 6 of swords, which says science. So some of you might be into both art and science. I don't usually see the 6 of swords as science oriented, but this deck has keywords on all of the like minor arcana except for the court cards. So yeah, so some of you might be kind of trying to figure out what you want to do. You might be having some fears holding you back. You might be trying to kind of move on to a new period of time that's a little bit smoother sailing for you, and just maybe you're trying to be patient because you feel like this is taking a long time. Maybe it's a very emotional state for you and you're not really sure where to turn. But I want to see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have door to personal healing and happiness, which is number 34. So that's an awesome card to get. So I feel like you've got that path towards your happiness ahead of you, but I think you just have to choose to walk through it. So maybe you are trying to redirect yourself, or you've been redirecting yourself down a path that doesn't feel quite right to you, but it's okay. But you've got this door to personal healing and happiness ahead of you, and that's awesome. So just, I think being aware of what that looks like to you would be helpful. That temperance energy is also healing. So maybe you're healing from some difficult situations of your past that have left you fearful and feeling like things won't get better, but you're really working on that. I feel like you're definitely in a process of working on those fears and trying to move forward anyway. You have nasty knot, number 47, and you also have loud and clear, number 45. So that nasty knot card makes me think of staying attached to things that don't work anymore, you know, just making sure that you sever ties with people and situations that don't work for you. And I think you've been getting signs about that from the universe with that loud and clear. I feel like I'm just picturing somebody being like, okay, I hear you loud and clear, like I get it now. So maybe you've been getting other tarot readings on this situation, trying to figure out what you should do. Maybe you've been trying to ask the universe for your happiness, and you've been kind of getting some nudges towards what you feel would be right for you, but maybe fear is just holding you back. So I think just trusting in that, getting clear about what you want, and then knowing that when you're feeling nudged towards something, that's a sign, you know, that kind of calm knowing is telling you something. So just pay attention to that. You have love, and you also have beauty. So I feel like many of you are doing some healing on maybe your self-love, how you look at yourself, how you look at your body, your face. I think physical attractiveness is something that you've been worrying about or feeling like you lack that. And I think this is saying work on yourself, you know, heal that part of you that doesn't feel good enough or pretty enough or attractive enough, and just show yourself the same love that you would show to somebody that you love, you know, a good friend or family member who is feeling this way. What would you do for them? How would you speak to them? Make sure that you're not being your own worst critic, because that most people tend to be our own worst critics. So just speak more gently with yourself and about yourself, and don't judge yourself too harshly. Maybe work on some things that make you feel physically better, whether that's a beauty routine or exercising or eating something that makes you feel good, you know, even if it's like some chocolate, or, you know, just making sure you're drinking enough water. I think that that's something to just be aware of. You have growth, waxing crescent 3, which is number 5. So yeah, I think you're definitely growing right now. You've been in a period of growth and change, and I think maybe this is something that you've been working on, is being accepting of your body, of your just what you have to offer the world. I feel like you might have been stuck in the comparison game for a long time, and you've let fears of not being enough hold you back. And I think now you're allowing that fear to exist while also allowing your bravery to lead you, allowing confidence to kind of come out when it can. Because with that temperance, I'm seeing the yin yang on that card. And that's making me feel like many of you are not shutting down that negative self-talk, because that is difficult to shut down. You can't shut it down for good, but you're allowing it to exist with positive talk about yourself as well. That you're trying to kind of balance that and mix it in a way that feels good to you and authentic to you. And I think you've been maybe working on that for a long period of time, where now I think you're finally at a place where you're feeling like you've grown some roots into that, and it's maybe getting easier for you to do. You're not feeling like it's such a struggle anymore. So that's awesome. For your self-care message, you have spend time with friends, which is number 49. So I feel like many of you need to just be around the people who make you feel good about yourself. The people who are going to boost you and be like, you are a god, you are a goddess, don't feel bad about yourself, just the people who make you feel good and empowered. And I feel like everybody deserves friends and loved ones like that. So just, if you don't have people like that, speak to yourself as if you had friends like that. Because I think with this year being isolating, many of us, I think, have been separated from people for a long time. So if you're not able to talk to or see the people that matter to you, it helps to just talk to yourself as you would a good friend. So I think just being kind and empowering and loving towards yourself is really coming through a lot. That's very important right now. And then you have She Who Thrives, Orchid. Flourish, prosper, blossom. So that definitely goes perfectly with this door to personal healing and happiness. So I think maybe you're starting to realize that you are able to thrive, or maybe you're still in the state of being fearful that you won't ever have a period of time where you feel like you're thriving. But you will, because you have this door to personal healing and happiness. You've got the rainbow there. It just looks lush and like everything is flourishing and thriving. And then this orchid message too, She Who Thrives. So I think just allowing your fears to exist while not giving extra credence to those over what else you know. If you know that you can move forward, or you know that you've grown a lot this past year, trust in that. Just allow yourself to dismiss those fears, or to just let them be without giving them power over you. I think that will be very helpful for you. But I think, this group is definitely very focused on self-love, but there is a theme throughout all these piles today that just living your authentic life and allowing yourself to figure out what that is and then move towards that, I think is really a huge theme right now. So I think that's definitely a way for us to find that kind of bit of hope when things feel dark. So just know that you can create that within yourself, and you are worthwhile of kind of creating that feeling of just trusting yourself, feeling like you can thrive, using positive self-talk. You're worthy of that. So just try to work on that and allow yourself to expect that and anticipate that in the future. But I'm going to get your charms now for some more information. So we are using the heart today to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. So that's just where you have more influence, or where you need to focus your efforts right now. That's the heart of the situation. So group 3, how can you find the light in the darkness? All right, so in the heart, you have the eagle here who's kind of swooping in. So that just makes me think of the energy of just kind of observing, watching, and waiting for a while, but then when the time is right, swooping in and grabbing what you want. So I think maybe you've been in a period of exploration, trying to figure out what you want your life to look like. You've been growing, and now maybe you're starting to feel like even if you don't feel ready for a new endeavor or a new situation, you can still grab it just without thinking about it, making sure that you're not holding yourself back from opportunities out of fear that you're not good enough. So just make sure that you are aware of your tendency to do that so that you can mitigate that if necessary. You have the number 18 here. So that could be a significant date or number for you, but it's also the moon card, which you got. So again, those fears I think are trying to hold you back right now. I think you're feeling very emotional about this, but just you've got the sun underneath here. So just trust that things will work out. Recognize that you are worth things working out. You are worth a positive future, and you are worth that kind of flourishing and thriving energy. So just trust in that, and just don't hold back out of a lack of self-worth. Allow yourself to jump in anyway and see what happens, because sometimes that's what's needed to build up our sense of self or our confidence in ourselves and in the future. So you have a few numbers here. You do have number 7, which could be a significant number or date, and you have number 17. So again, could be significant numbers for you or dates coming up, but it's also both of those can correspond with tarot cards. So number 7 is the Chariot. So just overcoming obstacles, driving forward, making sure that your head and heart are united so that you can move towards what you want. And number 17 is the Star card. So hope in dark times, having faith that things will get better, just healing, working on your healing. So yeah, definitely going for things even if you're feeling doubtful. So just know that things will get better. You've got so much positive energy here. You have another sun here as well. So things are going to look up for you. You just have to keep trusting and moving forward, and even just moving forward, even if you can't see what's in front of you or you don't feel like things are going to work out, because you do have the cloud here. So I feel like things often feel cloudy. That moon is also illusion and mystery and just fears kind of taking over and making sure that things are not clear right now. So just moving forward even despite that, and knowing that clarity will come for you. For your words, you have hello, and you also have found. So I feel like you are going to find what you are meant to do. You are going to find the right people in your life. Whatever you feel like you've been missing from your life, that's coming to you. Because I just feel like it's going to be this kind of quiet, knowing moment. Like, just, I'm picturing somebody literally being like, hello, and just like, oh, I found it. And it's just going to feel like a breath of fresh air, and you're just going to feel so refreshed, and everything is going to clear up in that moment. So, yeah, just trust that that is coming for you. You have the healing heart here. So, yeah, I think many of you might have been brokenhearted in the past, or just you felt very unworthy in the past, because we also have the heart here that's got all the holes in it. So that makes me think just many different situations and experiences have just kind of chipped away at your self-esteem, chipped away at your kind of emotional self, and you just feel you still have all those wounds and scars sitting there, and some of them might not have healed yet. So I think that's something that you have been working on, you have been healing. So I think just trusting that things are going to work out, and that that healing is happening. Because I think a lot of the time, if we ever have those kind of backslides where we feel like, I've been doing so great, and then today everything just collapsed, everything went wrong. I think it's easy to just feel like, okay, then nothing will go right. But I think picking yourself up and knowing that, okay, just because I slid back does not mean that I haven't made progress. Sometimes it's healing is not a linear process. It's just kind of a blob, if that makes sense. It's all over the place, and it doesn't look the same for everyone. So just trusting that just because it doesn't look like your vision of healing looks, it doesn't mean you are not making progress. You have the shell purse here. So many of you, again, it's kind of a self-worth, and maybe from a perspective of what you look like or what you have, like material things, a very kind of shallow understanding of worthiness. So I think that's something that maybe you're starting to kind of cut away and allow that to not have any power over your life anymore. You have the snowflake. So winter might be significant. Obviously, if you're in the northern hemisphere, we're in winter right now. So maybe that was a turning point for you, is either this winter or last winter, or maybe by next winter something will look completely different. But that might be like a time period that's significant for you. You have the wrench here. So Yeah, fixing things, mending things, healing, making sure that you kind of find all the cracks and you're fixing those up. So I do feel like you've been doing a lot of work over the past year on yourself, on how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your life. And you're starting to kind of see the results. You're starting to notice that things are starting to work out a little bit. You have the stethoscope here, so that has to do with healing and just taking care of yourself, like just, going to checkups and just doing the everyday things that are taking care of yourself as well. Just the kind of maintenance of your body, of your spirit, of your emotional health, mental health, things like that. So just making sure that you're taking care of yourself. I feel like that's been something that you've been getting better at, but just make sure that you're continuing that as well. With the skier here, just know things are going to get smoother. They're going to start moving faster quite soon. You're able to create the life you want with the spider here. So just know that the web you've been weaving over however long you've been working on this, it is creating the life that you want to live. And you always have the power to take things down and kind of recreate it in the image that you want it to look, if that makes sense. So just know that if things don't feel right to you, you can always change it. Trust in yourself to be able to do that. The dragonfly is a good luck sign. It has to do with joy, and it also is a symbol of transformation. So I think you are moving into a period of better luck, more joy. There's just a lot of fulfillment coming to you. And then with the sailboat here, that actually gives me kind of Six of Swords vibes, which you had in your cards. So just moving on from a more tumultuous period and trusting that a smoother period of time is ahead, just knowing that things moving forward are going to be better than the past. So I think you have been experiencing some of that better period of time. So you're starting to trust in that a little more. You're feeling like things will work out better. You have the cross here. So that's a symbol of protection and just knowing that you're protected by the divine. And you're also, I think, you can trust in yourself to protect yourself, protect your heart, protect your psyche as well. Because I think many of you for a long time have felt kind of at the mercy of other people's opinions or words about you. So I think you're in a period of time now where you're not putting so much trust in others or so much power in their words to kind of define you or make you feel a certain way. So I think that's awesome that you're starting to feel that and you're starting to kind of internalize that power from within. You have the Taj Mahal here, which is a symbol of undying love, very, very powerful love. So you might be getting like a grand gesture of love from someone, whether that's romantic love or familial love or friend love, but just knowing that I'm even getting just this phrase in my head, but taking care of yourself is a radical act of love. I think that might be paraphrasing a quote. I'm not sure who it's by, so if anyone knows, please leave that in the comments below, but I would love to know. But yeah, just loving yourself and taking care of yourself is a radical act of love. So just trusting in your worth is, I think, going to propel you forward. I think that's something that you've been learning, and it's really kind of building up exponentially, and you're starting to feel more and more confident, and you're seeing the results of that confidence as well. You have the passport, so this might be new territory for you. You might feel kind of unsteady about it still, but I think you're getting excited. It's feeling a little more like an adventure, like, what could be ahead. There's so much possibility out there that I don't know what's coming, and that's exciting rather than terrifying. So I think you're kind of shifting your perspective into a period of feeling excited about the unknown rather than just frozen and terrified. So I think you're in that process right now, and that's awesome. So continue to do that. Continue to look at things like an adventure. And also, you might be wanting to travel in the near future as well. So because many of us were not able to do that, that might be something that kind of helps you find that light as well. You have the magic wand. So I feel like maybe you've had people say, oh, there's no magic wand, you've just got to do the work. But I think you're realizing that the more you do the work, the more it seems like magic is attracted to your life, that you're seeing things happen that are just seem magical or, indescribable, like how on earth did this happen? It just seems incredible. So I think just trusting in that and allow that energy to keep you moving forward, to keep you trusting in yourself and allowing that magic to come in, because that does often happen when we start putting ourselves in a better mindset and in a better kind of energy. We do start noticing things just working out almost magically. And with the feather, that has to do with signs and synchronicities from the universe. So I think I'm pretty sure every group got that same charm, or at least a feather charm. So yeah, I think everybody is seeing some signs and synchronicities from the universe right now, seeing how things are working out, like feeling nudges when they're feeling like they don't know what path to take. They're feeling reassurance when they're not sure if they're on the right path, but then they're like, yes, I am, because, I saw a double rainbow and that made me feel like things are going to work out, that kind of thing. And then you have this elephant, and this particular one is my sign for celebration and just bringing joy and love and laughter into our lives and just allowing ourselves to just embrace that joy. So I think that's something that maybe you've been working on, or that's something that you could try to do more from now on, and that might really help you, is just allowing yourself to give into joy and just letting that kind of fuel you to move forward, and allowing that to kind of seep into your confidence within yourself as well. So group 3, I hope that this resonated. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. I hope that your holiday season has been great, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.